Pardon me. Every now and then, I feel guilty. The jailhouse lawyer talks, you know what I'm saying? And I be freestyling there. Every time I take an opportunity to sit down and talk about the law aspects, usually I would like to sit down with case law. Usually I would like to sit down with them type of things. You know what I mean? So I could break down and give it to you so you could get it, so you could do your research, so it could work for you. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm only doing this for those who are trying to free themselves, the people who got family members that's in prison and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I always talk about the initial part of being arrested because that's probably one of the most focal points that we need to learn. And one of the most initial facts that we need to learn first is the bail. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times in the federal district, they don't give bail. They got this shit called 1983 Bail Act. And they don't give bail. Some people do because you can actually file a motion for a bail hearing. You know what I'm saying? And all this goes under the 8th Amendment because it's like, under the 8th Amendment, they are not allowed to give you excessive bail. So, if you're a black man and you live in America and you work, the average person that works makes $40,000, $50,000 a year, might make $100,000 a year. And they have bills, kids, all types of things like that. So how could I be American, right? And here in America, and I commit a crime, and you're charging me $200,000 bail. I don't even make that in a year. This is why people do crimes, to try to make money, right? To make money. They might not be able to feed themselves, so they do crimes to make money. So this is a question, but we don't initiate the situation. So there is no motions being filed. And when you have a lawyer, what happens is the lawyer represents you. By the lawyer representing you, you're not able to represent yourself. So now you ain't able to file. He's your mouthpiece. Your hands is tied. This is a whole nother situation because the 6th Amendment of the Constitution guarantees that you have effective assistance of counsel. This is a fact. There ain't no way around it. And I could get even deeper into it. I need to break that more into it to effective assistance of counsel because that is what's going to protect you through the whole war. You could get a whole reversal. You get a new trial, right? You get a reversal, like to the aspect of having a lawyer because these lawyers are so bad. Do you notice that half the time when you pay a lawyer, they don't give you a receipt? The lawyers is playing the game like they're playing the game like it's a legal game. You know what I'm saying? They know people getting locked up. It's free money to them. They have accounts. When lawyers when they become lawyers, they're supposed to have accounts like escrow. And when they get money from a client, when you give them $1,000, $2,000, you put money down on for them to represent you, that money is supposed to go into this bank account. It's an escrow account. And they are not allowed to spend that money until the case is done. This is why they don't give you no receipt. All that money is free money for them, and they're going to make a person cop out. It makes all the sense in the world when you think about it. It's more interest for them for you to cop out. They are working with the system. The lawyers is working. You cannot trust your lawyer. I don't care if he's your best friend, if you study him. His name is Metropolis, and he's the best esquire there in the state. It doesn't matter. They're taking $10,000 to $20,000 to $40,000. All you got to do is when you get a lawyer, you take his name and you put that shit up in the Westlaw or what's the other one? If anybody know, if you follow me, as I said, I'm freestyling this. I use Westlaw. But it's another one. It's another search engine where they do legal work in, and you can put that stuff in. Put the lawyer's name in there. And all his cases will pop up just before you give him the money. And then what you will see is that a lot of them are taking guys to trial, making them do suppression motions, losing them on purpose, and then like, yo, you got to go to trial now. So now you don't want to go in front of a jury because a jury only deal with the theory of fact, of knowing. Jury don't know the law. So juries see, oh, he had possession of a gun on him. He had the gun. He's guilty. Judges don't do that because judges know law. It goes into possessions, and then it goes to your constitutional rights if they violate your privacy. Because most of the time they try to say that you did something to violate the law, to violate this law of this country. But this country, we the only country in the world that have our own rights. So we like sovereign people walking around here. Just having the Constitution is like being sovereign. You're damn fucking untouchable if you know your shit. A lot of people are ignorant. So it's all about facing the prison time that you're facing it and not letting it intimidate you and breaking you down. Because that's how they get us. They put us in these cells, they put us in jail, they put us in these places, and it breaks you. So if you cannot bail out, it ain't nothing for you to do but to cooperate. Notice I never talked about cooperation. Notice that. When I do these jailhouse talks, I never talk about cooperation. Because cooperation should never be an option. Intimidation makes people cooperate. Just because people cooperate don't mean they bad people. It's because they don't know nothing about the law. So now your life is on the line. You got kids, you got bills, you got homes, you got all this shit. Who's going to take care of all these things while you in pen? Majority of the times, most people who get incarcerated, get locked up, don't have a support system. That's why people do crimes. Like, they know what they doing. So if they know what they doing, the system is designed, and I'm a black man, I can break this down. You don't see no legal books around me. This is all common sense, but I'm a bad motherfucker when it comes to me calling out case laws, when it comes to me doing any of that shit. I'm a bad motherfucker. A bad motherfucker. You hear me? I could show you how to walk out of any fucking situation, right? With no lawyer. So could imagine a black man standing in front of this white judge, detectives, district attorneys, and I'm cross-examining them, asking them questions. So it changes. They attacking you, and they judging you, don't know nothing about you, don't know nothing about the struggles you went through in society, that's their society, that they govern in, where we have laws, that we have rights in. Here's your chance to explain to them, to show them that they're attacking you. But you got to be articulate, and you have to study, and you have to understand to be able to protect yourself. And do we have a fucking choice? They should have a literary class, school for law for all of us black brothers in the hood. As kids, we should learn this shit. Just like immigrants come over here and they got to learn the Constitution. They must know it to become a citizen over here. We need to learn that shit. That should be a part of the fucking curriculum in school. But it's not. So here I go. The guy who went to jail sat in the fucking box, and I studied, and I did it, and I cracked the code. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want no money from you. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know this. I don't want no money from you. I do this shit because I'm fighting the system. All these black brothers out here, they fronting. All these lawyers, they fronting. They want your money. It's their hustle. That's their hustle. That's how they make bread. They use you in trouble, you in debt, it doesn't matter. They make it seem like you can't win anyway, so take this 2 years, this 3 years, cop out, sign away your rights. There's a lot of shit that I got to talk about. A lot of shit. But, you know what I'm saying? Please work with me. You know what I mean? If you're listening, please subscribe. Because, like, I really don't want to do this shit, to be honest with y'all. But I'm going to do it because it's the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? It's the fucking knowledge, man. You know what I mean? That's when it comes down to it. It's like, if you have the knowledge, you don't need the money. They made us think that we need to have the money. So even when dude go to jail, he got his money tucked for the lawyer and the bail. You know what I'm saying? But then you got to know, it's people outside that's broke. They've been watching you get money for a while. So at the end of the day, they want to spend your stash. So it's like your money is going to shit by the time you go to jail. All that shit you worked hard for, saved up for, is going to you getting back out. Going back to zero. People taking your bread. I'm going to show you and family members, women, all that. I'm going to show y'all how to protect y'all own, because we all got kids, brothers and sisters that's going through this, falling victim to the system. We all have it. We all know somebody that's falling to this shit. And you don't be affected until it affects you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to care until you look at it into the face of what you going through. Now, fearing somebody you love is going through that shit. It's the only time you're going to really care. People don't care otherwise. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is, man. It's just the reality of what we dealing with as a people. You know what I mean? Got to make a change for it, some way, somehow.